Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork. Will not get anywhere else if we do not teach you how to rise to the occasion. We teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. Let me just go ahead, before we get into today's Make Your Move Monday kickoff question, let me just address my Commanders. My motherfucking Commanders. You know, and that's the game. At the end of the day, listen, man, a dream did come true because since I moved to South Florida, I have always wanted to be in a sports bar amongst Dolphins fans, wearing my Washington Redskin or Commander stuff. And it did happen yesterday. I was watching the game early in the morning. 9 in the morning. The sports bar, some of the sports bars open because it was the Dolphins out here amongst other Dolphins fans. And, you know, hey, I had to eat it. Had to absolutely eat it. The game goes into overtime, and they beat us off 3 points. So many motherfucking opportunities we had to win that game, and we just blew it. We just simply blew it. And that's the game. You know, this is why I use the game of football to teach life, to teach business owners how to create that cohesion with the staff. Because you got to think, just the day before, again, I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan and a diehard Washington Commanders fan. The day before, Michigan wins off a last-second field goal. Next day, my Commanders lose off a walk-off field goal. So, again, just about staying loyal, staying consistent, and just, hey, we always got next week. Always got to be next week. So that's the game, and that's what it is. I teach, and the reason I stay so plugged into it is because it creates incredible teaching moments. You know, win, loss, whatever it is, you got to wake up the next morning, you got to go back to work. And all that being said now, let's get it saying all that. Let me gets me into today's Make Your Move Monday kickoff question. For those of you who are new around here, every single Monday, this is what we do. We start off with a thought-provoking question. I'll do a live stream about it later. I'll do a deeper dive on a live stream about it later. And then tomorrow we'll get into the Top 5 Tuesday, all when it comes to the actual theme of the week, all right? And the theme of this week is your gifts. What are your gifts? That's the Make Your Move Monday kickoff question, all right? What are your gifts? What are your gifts? Understand that your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts are going to allow you to remove certain people. And again, it's not going to feel like a gift in certain moments because there are going to be some people that you have to remove from your life, or they're going to remove themselves from your life because they can't cater. They can't be a compliment. They can't create opportunities based on what your gifts are, which is why it's so damn important that you know what your gifts are and you utilize them on a daily basis. All right. So what are your gifts? I'm going to say it again, nice and clear so you guys can hear it all the way in the back, all right. What are your gifts? What are your gifts? What exactly is your gifts out there to the world? For me, it's my ability to be observant and take action. Observant and take action. And in the mix of that, stay consistent. Now, the reason I can stay consistent on certain things is because I can make the observation, and I've already been taught to take action on the observations that I make. That's the gift, doing it in one fell swoop. Now, again, it can be a gift or it can be a curse, depending on the people that you have around you. If you're around people that show you a certain thing and you take action for a certain thing that you don't need to be taking action on, it can lead you down the wrong path. Again, sometimes your gifts, if you're not clear on what your gifts are and how to utilize them to be beneficial and advantageous towards you, then you run into problems. So this is why it's important that we're going to discuss all this throughout the week is what exactly are your gifts to the world, and are you utilizing your gifts in a way that's going to be advantageous not only to yourself, but to your family and to the loved ones and to the people that you're trying to build with. Hear me when I say build with. That's the question today, guys. Just to recap again, repeat the question. Make Your Move Monday kickoff question for this week is, what are your gifts? What are your gifts? And, you know, we'll dive into how to utilize them, the best ways to utilize them, the best people to have around you when it comes to utilizing them. All that stuff we'll get to this week. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, comment, share this out to anybody that really needs to hear it. The main website I got to dive deeper into all my work is makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Check it out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever time of day you may be listening to this. As you just heard, as one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division I college football player and current 6-time published author and educator. I created this whole brand, this whole concept, this whole way of life that's all about taking the innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field and applying them to businesses, business owners, in particular business owners, so they have a staff and or a group of employees that move as efficiently, as cohesively as a championship high school or youth football team. And as you heard it in my voice earlier in today's Move Swiftly Thought, I have to stay plugged in. I'll stay plugged into the game that I love, the game that I played, the game that I coached, the game that I scouted, because and create incredible teaching moments. In a nutshell, my weekend was ups and downs. As a Michigan Wolverines fan, started Saturday too. My high school, my alma mater, we lost the game to Gonzaga. So now we didn't make it back to the WCAC championship like last year when I did a whole live stream on why Good Counsel. I went to Good Counsel High School in Maryland, by the way. Why Good Counsel and DeMath is the best high school rivalry. Again, we won't be seeing that in the championship game this year. Again, difference a year makes, man. My Michigan Wolverines, national championship 2 years ago. Now we're excited about beating Northwestern off 1 point, right? And then just yesterday, it's been one of the goals has been to, wear my Commander stuff in a South Florida sports bar amongst Dolphins fans, especially seeing that I used to work for the Dolphins. So it would be a great time, hopefully ending with a Commanders win. Didn't work out like that. Great time, met some incredible people. But, hey, you stay plugged into the game because the game is all about community. The game teaches community. The game teaches camaraderie. The game teaches having conversations with complete strangers and getting to know them and, not being pushy and selling anything per se, but just getting to know them and enjoying a good time. But you got to stay loyal to the game. The game, when I say loyal to the game, I mean loyal to your team, loyal to the community. It's not really about being loyal to any one particular player or any one particular player or particular coach, but it's about being loyal to your team because of what it represents in your life. All right. That's what this is all about. And if you're a business owner, and you haven't utilized the game of football to really teach these lessons and teach how to make it so your staff is working together, you're missing the boat. All right. And this is, well, you're missing the boat, but there's also me that can come in and incorporate a system for you to be able to do that properly. There's a strategic way in doing that. All right. All of that is available on makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYaMove.com. Just hit the shop now button as you will see all of my intellectual property, all the books here, and the new book, How to Be a Wintrepreneur. It is all right there. There'll be a system in place for you guys to go and plug in your information all. But if you want to just, pre-order the book now, the actual hard copy will be ready sometime around March. I'm thinking more March Madness time as football season ends and as we have that transition from football to basketball season. The hard copies will actually be ready, but you can pre-order a copy of How to Be a Wintrepreneur right there on makeyourmove.com right there. All right. So all that being said, let's get into today's Make Your Move Monday kickoff question. Your gifts, not only the kickoff question, but what we're going to be diving into throughout the entire week. All right. The theme for the week is gifts. All right. We are now officially in holiday season and everybody then skipping Thanksgiving and already on Christmas and Christmas decorations are going up and they're thinking about what they're going to get on Black Friday and how they're going to do this and all sorts of gifts that we can look at from the commercial perspective. But what we're going to talk about is the gifts that we have in our own heart, in our own mind, in our own personality. And are we utilizing those gifts every single year? So every year, every day can feel like Christmas, right? Every day can feel like you're providing time and giving back to something that you really feel passionate about. That's the timeliness of today's discussion. The timeliness of what we're going to be discussing is what exactly are your gifts? And again, I'm not talking about you giving your significant other that those new pair of shoes that she wanted, right? Or giving your significant other a phone or something material, some sort of product that you went to the store and bought. I'm talking about your gifts that you have in your heart, and are you utilizing those gifts in a way that's advantageous, not just to you, because if you're just doing it for yourself, then you're going to run into problems. You're really going to run into problems. Yes, do it for yourself, but also is it advantageous to the people that you genuinely care about and you genuinely want to see become successful. So that's what we're going to dive into today. All right. So all that being said, again, I'm working towards keeping these live streams at under the 20-minute mark. I may cut the Wednesdays because I'm starting actually. I'll go guys and tell you guys now. I actually started a brand new movement. I ain't gonna call it a brand new movement that's gonna be very complimentary to my employee development workshops. All year It's been about how do I get in front of more business owners that are going to want to pay for employee development workshops. And I'll just say it like this. I'm not going to give you too much information now. I'll give you the details as we go. But I re-met someone. We'll say it like this. I'll say it like this. I'll say it like this. I'll be careful how I say it in situations. I had a meeting with him last night. I had a meeting with the crew last night, officially in the group chat. And I got another meeting today. So I got to make sure I'm saying it the right way here. I re-met someone that introduced me to the business that's going to give me the infrastructure that I needed for the employee development workshops that I was already selling. All right. You like how I said that? Do you understand now the power of developing as a speaker, whether there's 0 people in here or 300 people in here? Doesn't matter. You got to continuously practice your speech and how you develop. All right. I'm going to say it again nice and slow. I re-met someone, right, that introduced me to a business that's going to be very, very complementary and important and critical to the employee development workshops that I was already offering. Come on, man. Come on. Again, that's not giving too much detail. It's not giving too much, but it's letting you know things and the format will be changing. They're already changing as 2026 is like, you blink your eye, it's here. And if your ass is not ready, 2027 is going to come and your ass is not going to be ready. You got to fucking go, and you got to go right now. All right. So all that being said, let's jump into the article as we move forward. Oh, yeah, I forgot to make my point. So Monday, we'll definitely keep the Monday and the Tuesday live streams going. Wednesdays, it's possible that I might get busy doing stuff with that and focusing more on getting in front of the business owners that are already paying for the employee development workshop. So it's going to definitely stay with Make Your Move Monday kickoff question and Top 5 Tuesday, and then we'll see how things kind of play out as we move forward. But the advice and the thing that I will tell you, anybody that's listening to me, is when you are in business and you're focusing on what's going to be best for your organization, you got to be, it's on you to make these decisions. You have to actually be the one to ask yourself, who's more important to serve? Is it more important to serve the people that may or may not come on the live stream, or is it more important to serve the business owners out there, the thousands, hundreds, the thousands, probably millions of business owners out there that are struggling with turnover and want exactly the product that I'm selling? That's what you got to ask yourself. That's what you got to ask yourself as you're going. Again, I'm asking myself, and I'm telling you in real time, this is what you got to do. You got to maybe give up some things that you might enjoy doing and you might really be good at in order to do the things that are going to be beneficial for the organization in the long term. That's what it is you have to do. So all that being said, let me get to the article and we'll go from there. So what are your gifts? All right. What are your gifts? And again, follow me on medium.com at MoveSwiftly44. What are your gifts? Your gifts are the real blueprint. Why knowing them determines everything. All right. Hear me when I say that. Hear me when I say that. Hear me when I say that. You got to know your gifts in order to determine, it's going to determine your future, right? This image that I chose to use for this article came because I had no idea. Just, you can ask me 6 or 7 months ago, I had no idea who First Serve was. I had no idea what they were about, but the alignment and the way I got picked to be the site director was because of something that happened years ago in terms of way the president saw what I did, how I did it, and then the continuing of following what it is I was about. And again, staying consistent, continuing to be observant, and then continuing to take action. And we'll get into it throughout the article. All right. So here we go. We talk a lot about goals, career moves, relationships, income, and opportunities, but very few people ever stop to answer the most important question that sits underneath all of it. What are your gifts? Not your job title, not your degree, not what people think you're good at, not what you've been used, not what you've been used for in past relationships, workplaces, or friendships, right? Your gifts, the things that flow out of you naturally, without effort, without performance, without pressure. The problem, almost nobody can answer that question confidently. And the scary part is, if you don't know your gifts, you'll live your whole life performing someone else's plan for you. Let's break down why this matters deeply, practically, and spiritually. Here it is. Important right there. Highlight that part. If you don't know your gifts, you're going to be spending your entire life performing what somebody else wants you to do. Just constantly buckle into what somebody else wants of you and how they want you to do this. It is a shit show. It is something that you do not want. You do not want. Hear me when I tell you, you do not want to be in a situation where you're only doing things. You're only doing things because somebody else is asking you to do it. But you got to be in a place where you're operating from your gift. Your gift shall make room for you. That is what the good book says. Your gift will make room for you. All right. So let's break it down. Number one, we live in a world programmed to make you forget about your gift. Right. The world doesn't reward authenticity. It rewards compliance. People will project their insecurities onto you. People will discourage you because your confidence exposes their doubt. People will here. That's another great point. All right, look, your confidence, and as you develop confidence in your gifts and develop confidence in what you're doing, it's gonna expose. Again, this is something I'm living through currently as we're talking right now. The more confident you become in what you're doing and how you're doing it, it's gonna start exposing the doubts of leaders, the doubts of people who were in charge, because now you stepping into your confidence, and whatever control they might have had of you before, they don't have that control anymore. They don't have the ability to talk. They don't have the ability to tell you how this is going to be and tell you how that's going to be, because your confidence is starting to make them very, very insecure. I've seen it in real. People change. People change when you develop the confidence. So just get ready for it. All right. People will define you by your job title because it's just easier for them understanding your purpose. It's easier than understanding your purpose. Easier for them to define a person just by their job title and go by what's on paper versus actually getting deep on and understanding why a person's even in a position to do what they do in the first place. All right, hear me. We live in a cynical world where people only see limitations, so they expect you to shrink yourself to match their comfort level. That's why most adults can list their weaknesses immediately, but freeze when asked about their gifts. Your environment shapes what you believe about yourself. If you've ever been in rooms that affirm your gift, you'll start to think you don't have one. All right. If you've never been in rooms, hear me, that affirm your gift, you'll start to think you don't have one. If you haven't been in a room in which, hey, this is what I'm good at and I'm able to make this move and do this and do that, then you won't even realize your own damn self that you have one. All right. And then you get swallowed up in what all of the bullshit that the world comes at you with, because they want to feel comfortable and they want to freeze it. They want to kind of keep things from actually growing. All right. Scripture, and I've already mentioned this a little bit. All right. The scripture, the good book, the Bible says this. All right, already reveals the strategy. There's a reason this ancient principle has survived thousands of years. Your gift will make room for you. It doesn't say your job makes room for you. It doesn't say your degree makes room. It doesn't say your connections make room. It doesn't say your circumstance makes room. It says your gift. Your gift makes room for you. All right. But gifts only work when they're activated. Sitting on a shelf, they do nothing. Buried under insecurity, they rot. Hide behind comparison, they fade. If you're not practicing your gift, and you're not positioning yourself for the rooms you belong in. And when you do start walking in your gift, expect the friction, expect the distractions, expect people to question your decisions, expect unexpected challenges. Anytime you move in purpose, resistance comes as a standard. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. And I hope all of you caught it. Go back and rewind that if you need to. It's a lot there. When you start walking in your purpose and walking in your gifts and understanding it, all right, then all of these things I just mentioned here, job title, your degree, your connections, whatever fucking circumstance you happen to be in right now, none of that shit matters, because you specifically know your gifts and you keep on operating from that place. All right. How I discovered mine. So again, if you're new around here, this is how it works. I put the question out there. I passionately put the question out there, and then I answer the question myself. So you guys have a blueprint and have a model, have an example up to how to go about doing it in your day-to-day, whatever your day-to-day is today. All right. So number one, but how I discovered my gifts, and it's kind of listed in a format here. My gift isn't speaking, all right, even though it may sound like I'm a very quality public speaker and passionate speaker. My gift isn't writing, even though, again, I wrote this and the writing of it is a high standard. I've written 6 books now. My gift isn't fitness, though I do it run every morning. Isn't teaching, even though I created my own position at the school I teach at. Isn't creating content. My gift isn't coaching. Those are expressions of the gift. All these things I mentioned that people are paying me for now, when it comes to all of these things, they're not necessarily the gift. They're an expression of the gift. There's a certain thing that I had in order to do that, but it was me activating my gift to get those things done. All right. But the actual gift is I can observe and I can persist. Those two skills, separate but connected, shape everything I do. All right, here it is. Again, and I know it. I can know it off the back of my head because again, I've lived enough life at this point to know how well I observant I am and how much I will persist based on an observation, not based on what some bullshit somebody said, not some bullshit somebody actually sent in a text message or anything like that. I'm persisting based on the shit I saw. I saw this happen, so you're gonna persist. All right, that's the power of the game. That's the power of playing the linebacker position that I play. You see the damn guard pulling around, and you have to take action now to go fill the hole, and then you go make a damn play, go make a tackle for a loss, right? You gotta observe the shit and persist. That's the game, folks. That's the game. That's the game translating into the way life is supposed to work. Observe and persist. All right. Number one, observation. Observation. I can walk into a room, a situation, a conflict, a workplace, a conversation, and instantly understand the dynamics, the motives, the truth, and the next step. Persistence. Once I see what needs to be done, I don't fold, I don't quit, I don't freeze, I don't wait for permission. I move. Those two abilities carried me through college football, running, and sobriety. All right, me becoming sober, me stopping, again, cutting the alcohol from my life. That happened because I realized, hey, the alcohol is fucking up my gift. The alcohol and the drinking and saying whatever it is, whatever the fuck it is, comes to mind. I still do that, but with alcohol, it gets to be completely disrespectful, completely uncalled for. So me having alcohol in my system and talking all the shit I talk, you don't need to be doing that, right? So college football, running, and sobriety, leaving Maryland with no money, moving to Florida, building, move swiftly, writing my 6th book, leading kids in sport and fitness, reinventing myself after setbacks, rebuilding my life after a heartbreak, finding a new community and purpose, building new income streams. And interestingly enough, the gift showed up in a relationship conversation months ago. Someone asked me. So this was again the girl I'm referring to when I say heartbreak and the situation. I can't say too much about it because right now we're not talking, and I don't have her permission to say everything it is I need to. Hopefully we do get back to a place where we're talking and I can get the permission of saying certain things, because I know she tunes into these live streams that I might get a text and you don't want to fuck with Dominican people like that. So anyway, I'm referring to her. So it's someone, she asked me, so she goes because this is when we're talking about business and what kind of business we can create, because again, with the two of us, we at least had that in common, is knowing that you can't make enough money. You can never have enough money, so you can always be creating revenue streams. We at least did agree on that point, right? So anyway, she asked me if someone wanted another service from you, not just because I was pushing the boxing lessons. She asked me if someone wanted another service from you, not just boxing, not speaking, not teaching. She asked me, would you drop what you're doing? Would you drop what you're doing in order to provide whatever service that she was more in particular talking about boxing, whatever service that the client is asking for? And my answer actually became the heart of this article. The answer I gave her is exactly where the article came from, right? Because I told her, I'm bringing you in on the conversation that was between the two of us. And I said, I observe what the client needs and I persist in delivering something valuable. The gift is the ability to pivot and serve without losing myself. So to give you more of a practical example here, if let's say someone contacts me and says, man, Aswan, I love the fact that you teach boxing lessons. Can you teach me can you just do general fitness in general? Maybe I don't want to pay for the boxing. Maybe I don't have the gloves, but I do want to work out. Am I going to tell that person, no, I can't teach boot camp classes? Absolutely not. I absolutely can. So the point is, hey, yes, you're putting something out there as you offer, but you may get a client, you may get somebody coming in and saying, hey, they want a different thing. You got to have the ability to pivot and do that thing so you don't lose out on some money. All right, that's the reality. That's not only money. I don't want to use the word like it's just about the money. Money is the important thing, but it's more important than money actually. Is more so, are you serving the people on the basis of what it is they're trying to get done? All right. So if they want to lose a certain amount of weight and they don't want to do boxing, okay, we can do some group fitness classes where we're just doing sprints and jogging and push-ups and all that kind of stuff. That's something I actually would send her. I used to send her workouts every single week that had nothing to do with boxing. So again, you got to be able to pivot in those kinds of ways, right? So The person I had, and that's what I put in the article. Yeah. So I observed the client, and the person I had that conversation is no longer in my life. Which again, I put it here, but when I think about everything that we've talked about, I'm not sure if it's even possible to make it so she's not in my life anymore. It's just in my life in a different way because again, this is the kind of stuff that we would do. I would do the recordings, and she had some from somewhere wherever it is she's listening to it from. She'll probably at some point get to it whenever she gets to it. But the gift, and again, actually, we'll stay on that point because even if she is no longer in my life, even if there's a point where that person is no longer in your life, your gift is going to stay intact. You see why it's so important. So if you all right, let me break this down. I know I'm going over my 20 minutes, but listen, if you have a gift that and somebody comes in and they are helping you discover and they're helping you develop that gift that you have. If that person is no longer, if God forbid something happens and that person is no longer in your life, the gift is still going to be there. You hear me? Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me in the back, folks? Are you hearing me? If you have a gift and you put your focus on the gift, focus on the gift that you have, the gifts that God has put in your heart and in your place, and that you're actually activating, and you meet someone and they're activating that gift, and that someone removes themselves from your life for whatever fucking reason they have. And again, there's plenty of very legitimate reasons for them to do that. The gift doesn't go anywhere, folks. The gift doesn't go anywhere. You still have it. It's just now you get to recognize it for yourself and you really start doing some damage, right? You really start making things happen because now the weight of having to provide that gift for another person is gone. And now you go and move forward with the right people that can really take your gifts to the next level. Come on, man. Come on, man. We're preaching now. Now we're saying something to somebody because gifts don't disappear with people, jobs, seasons, or titles. They don't disappear. The gift will not disappear. All right. So your gift is how you create impact and income, not your job. People lose jobs. People change careers. People outgrow relationships. People move. People evolve. But the gift remains the same. Whatever income you want to build, whatever business you want to start, whatever lifestyle you're aiming for, your gift is the engine, not your external circumstances. When you embrace your gift, you stop begging for opportunities. You stop shrinking for approval. You stop tolerating wrong environments. You stop explaining yourself to the wrong people. You start acting aligned. You start attracting aligned partnerships, teams, and rooms. Your gift creates the demand. Your discipline delivers the supply. How to identify the gift if nobody ever asks you. Here's a simple test, and I'll close you guys out. I'll close you guys out soon with this because now it's a matter of how do we apply? How do I identify the gifts? Here's what you do. All right. What do people do? What do people come to me for without me advertising it? All right. So that's the question you need to ask yourself. You need to ask yourself, what are people coming to me for without me necessarily advertising for it? Is it clarity? Do they want clarity from whatever conversation they're having? Wisdom, strategy, humor? Are you, the guy that they go to when they want to laugh, which is a great thing, having humor and having the ability to have some humoristic relief is great. Is it coming to me for motivation? Is it a technical skill? Can you, be that person that puts drywall or fixes roofs? Is it conflict resolution? Have you been able to resolve conflicts? Is it your presence? Is it just you being there? Is it a calming thing? Do you have courage, creativity, organization, teaching, storytelling, encouragement? Whatever it is, you have to know this. People already know your gift even when you don't. So start listening. All right. The hard part is now, and we're going to get into this tomorrow when we get into the top 5 Tuesday, but the hard part is, are you using your gift daily? Most people identify the gift, but they don't activate it, right? They use it occasionally. They use it only when asked. They use it only when life forces them to. Gifts don't grow through occasional use. Gifts grow through intentional discipline and reputation. Consistency builds confidence. Confidence builds clarity. Clarity builds opportunities. Opportunities build rooms. Rooms build impact. Impact builds legacy. All right. Final question. What is your gift and are you using it every day? Once you know the answer, your entire life, income, relationships, career, and purpose starts to organize itself around that truth. Your gift isn't just a thing you have. It's the gift it's the thing you become when you live intentionally. All right. So if you want structure and all that, and this is what we do around here in the Move Swiftly world. All of that is on makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. Make sure you inquire about our employee development workshops so we can deploy and create this system in your organization so you don't run into problems where you're operating in a place in which people are not moving based on their gifts and their gifts are not being utilized. All right. All that being said, as one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.